You're listening to the Unpenned Show with Paul and Andy, broadcasting live around the world. We believe freedom is free. It is enslavement that you're paying for. If you ain't mad by now, you're not paying attention.
Want to be free to live their life the way they want to be. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? Hello, pal, how are you?
Good evening, Paul. Happy New Year to you as well.
I'm delighted to say our one and only prediction about 2013 came true. Now, we only made one prediction and it's true. We made it on December the 18th and we said the 21st would be cold, dark and wet and we'd still be here and back January the 8th.
And lo and behold, here we are.
We're here. Have things got better? No. No. Have things got a little worse? Only if you're paying attention. Only, I think everybody listening, or at least most people listening, or have heard me before, I have a fish and chip shop. And yes, I think people have set off with a real positive outlook this year. I don't know where they get it from. I don't know who's telling them to have it, but they have a very positive outlook this year. I'm not going to spoil it yet. It's too early, isn't it?
Too early,
It's far too early in the year. So we're in January. We're in January, month number 1, apparently, for our calendar.
It is.
But that's not what the calendar shows us, is it?
No.
Because it starts numbering the months, doesn't it? It does start numbering them from number 9 with Sept. But that's 7.
It is,
And about October, that's 10. No, that's 8.
No.
November, that's... that's 11. Oh, 9, 11. 9, 11. No. December, 10, 12, 10. There's something wrong with this calendar, isn't there?
There is. It should really start in March.
It's got to start in March, hasn't it?
It has, because that's when you march along.
Well, I think it's when you get out of bed, isn't it? It's when the sun actually gets out of bed. Basically, it's when the sun gets out of bed and starts actually doing something. Because I think we've done this analogy before where, really, quite honestly, a day and a year are the very same thing, aren't they? It's just a bigger version of a day.
Bigger version of it,
That's right. You get out of bed in the morning, you spring out of bed. So it's March 21st. So you spring out of bed March 21st. Well, the next stop in the calendar is lunchtime, June 21st. Now, the next stop in the calendar is tea time, and that's going to be your last meal for a little while. Okay, so that should be your biggest meal. That's when you collect all your harvest
all
in.
Your harvest in the autumn.
September the 21st. Okay, then you got to go to sleep. That's December the 21st. You see, so a day and a year is the same thing, but just a bigger or smaller version.
Bigger version.
And why do we have sea sun? Why are they called sea suns? Just because they put the O in there, it fools everybody. But we know God's sun, S-O-N, is on one reality. The S-U-N in the sky. The light of the earth, the giver of the eternal light. If God's sun doesn't rise, we will all die.
We certainly will.
Now, am I saying Jesus doesn't exist? No. We're just using the reality of the words that we've got here and now.
Yeah, just a version of it.
A version. This language has always been with us. This is just the best version, or the most suitable version, that they want to use to program us at this time.
At this time, yeah.
You see, sea is water.
Yeah.
And sun is heat. Now, if we know that words, a spell is not a number of words. A word is a number of spells. And spells are all about mixing things together, aren't they?
Yeah.
So if we mix
in a big cauldron.
If we mix sea, which is heat, with water. If we mix sea, which is water, and sun, which is heat.
Yeah.
Mix water and heat together, and what do you get?
Steam.
Weather. You've ruined your punchline there.
I would say where you're going. It brings the steam off, which creates the weather.
Right. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
I'm in a roundabout.
You're right. Heat and water is the weather.
Yeah.
Because it's pressure, isn't it?
Yeah.
The two things working together. That's the next level. You see.
High and low pressure.
You missed your punchline.
I did.
You did miss your bloody punchline. Right. Probably most people, in fact, I know most people are now listening to us on YouTube, which is absolutely fine. We go straight to DVD nowadays, don't we?
No
messing about on these radio stations. No. We're straight to DVD. Our 2-hour show now goes straight on to YouTube. Please feel free to comment to your heart's content. The links will be below the YouTube that you're watching now for my Facebook, Andy's Facebook.
Thank you.
The YouTube channel that you're using is the one we're going to stay on for a little while. All the previous shows are there. If you go to the YouTube channel, Mr. Paul Vickers, you'll see there's a message opportunity. Anything you want to send us, criticism or just compliments. I'd rather have criticism, by the way.
Yes.
Compliments are no good because that makes me think I'm doing a really good job when I know I'm bloody rubbish at it.
Yeah.
So a compliment is all well and good, but I can't use compliment, but I can use constructive criticism, and that's what we look forward to, isn't it?
It is. And how can they listen to us live if they want to listen to us live?
I will. Good thinking. Good thinking. We are recording this through Blog Talk every single Tuesday, and what I'll do is I'll put next Tuesday's Blog Talk link below this video that you're watching or listening to now. Got to say a very big thanks to my pal Phil. Phil's in the north of England, and he's the guy who looks after this channel for me and you. And
he does.
He makes sure that the shows get up there in good time, and
he
eliminates all our cock-ups for us, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. And Happy New Year to Phil.
Yes,
he's listening.
Absolutely, yes, smashing
I think
stuff.
he is.
Good luck, Phil. So, we met actually because I thought you'd left me. 15 bloody days I haven't seen
Trickle
you.
on Christmas.
I thought you'd bloody left me. I thought you were going back to being married 100%. I mean, I only asked for 2.5 hours. Anyway, you're back. But wasn't it funny? The first things that what was the first thing we said to each other when we met just last week? We said, "Oh, I don't know. Oh, I don't know. It's not worth it, is it? I mean, this isn't going. We're not. We were so negative, weren't we?
We were on a right downer.
We were both bloody negative, and we thought, "Oh, it's no good you being. I rely on you when I feel like this, and vice bloody versa."
But we'd not seen each other for 15 days, but we both felt the same.
But that's love.
It must be,
That's love. Do you see how we've recovered? Do you see how spending time without me is paying? It's making you pay. But it was true, we were both very negative, weren't we?
We were.
Very, very negative. I mean, we did leave. We've left the station where we were because we wanted to leave.
We did.
It was time. No hard feelings. I wish them well. I do keep looking and seeing how they're doing, and they're doing just great. They're doing just great. So well done to everybody concerned with critical mass. Good job. Well done. Keep going. Up and up and up. No problems there at all. So any other chattering amongst the truth movement that there's a problem, take it from me, there isn't.
No.
There isn't, there wasn't, there won't be, never. That's that done. Got that out of the way.
Got it out of the way, yeah.
We've decided to go on our own and just have our own little bit of fun on a Tuesday evening, haven't we?
We have, yeah.
Because people are saying, why did you want to leave?
It was time, I think.
I think actually it was just
a journey that we've gone on.
Yeah.
It was going down for me, it was going, I'd come to a Y in the crossroads.
Yeah.
A Y in the road. And it was it carry on where I'm going, or do I
because we
need to move forward?
We've come to the conclusion that this sitting and meditating and hugging and loving and spirituality thing it's okay.
If you want that thing.
But it's not for us, is
it?
It
isn't for me.
It's not for us.
No.
We'd rather be punched on the nose end.
Yeah.
And been made, this is what you should be paying attention to. We'd rather do it the old-fashioned, kick up the necessary, get on with it, rather than... You see, there's too many people out there who really enjoy this spirituality. Not too many people. There's people that really enjoy this stuff.
Yeah.
But the conclusion is always the same in these conversations. And that is that we're encouraged to work on our inner selves to become powerful and strong inner beings, and then salvation will come from another. It never has. It never ever has.
No, it felt like to me like we were just waiting for another Messiah, and I've done the church thing. It was forced on me, but I realised at an early age it wasn't for me, and I'm not looking for a leader. I used to look for leaders, but I don't want to be a follower, and I don't want to be a leader. I just want to sail my own ship. I want to be the captain of my own ship.
That's the idea, isn't it? This is the idea, and the Freeman will like this one, because the captain of a ship is judged by the company he keeps. Judged by the company he keeps. And if you guys and girls know a little bit about the Freeman stuff and how the law of the land and how the law of the sea has been mixed together, because we actually have in this reality we're living on the land, which is the SEE, but the laws that we're following, and I know you can say they're not laws. Well, if we're going to argue about the fine print, we're not going to get very far here. The laws that we're being forced to follow are the laws of the SEA.
Yeah.
And we think individual is a word to denote one. But it cannot be so, because the word clearly indicates it is to split into two. Individual. So it's definitely split into two, and we are living in a duality on every level. We're only chatting about one level. Some people will say, but the duality is, it means this to me. Good, you're right as well.
Mm-hmm.
And it means this to me. Good, you're right as well.
Yeah.
You know, is it Father Christmas or Santa Claus? Are they the same person?
Mm-hmm.
Or is there a reason why we've got two? Because there must be a reason why we've got two. This system doesn't make mistakes. The only mistakes that are made are us thinking it's making one.
Mm-hmm.
Now, who is Santa Claus? And who is Father Christmas? Because we're led to believe they're the same. But it doesn't make sense. Because who is the Father of Christ whose church you go to Mass?
Yes.
You see?
You do, yeah.
You see, that's the service for the masses, for the Father of Christ. This is the celebration of God's Son. And God is the word good.
Yeah.
With the O missing. I mean, Christmas Day, there should be some scientific research done into this, I believe. Because somehow on Christmas Day, right, it would appear to me that no matter how naughty, unpleasant, evil, aggressive, selfish, whatever, on Christmas Day, you manage to keep the peace. You do everything you can to keep the peace.
You do.
But even in World War I, they put the guns down and had a game of football.
They did.
So there is some magical science about Christmas Day that needs investigation. Because we won't fight on Christmas Day. I don't know where the rule is written, but it's written and everybody follows it.
Mm-hmm.
But it's only one day.
Just for the one day.
Because 24 hours later, we have the arrival of Boxing Day.
Boxing Day.
Boxing Day. Let the fight recommence.
Yes.
Now, you and I discuss our language, don't we? And we know it's war and peace, don't we?
Yeah.
Our language is war and peace. And if people say, what do you mean by that? What I mean by that is that every relationship you currently have in your life that is of some importance to you is at a stage that could be described as war or peace and all steps in between.
Between that.
That's all your relationships. They're at war or peace and all steps in between. You're either taking steps towards a war or you're making reparations to keep the peace. And that is what's happening in your life, in my life, and in everybody's lives. Mm-hmm. And our language is designed to make that happen. Yeah. It's perfectly designed to make that happen. Anyway, today I've picked up a BBC News report, and it really is good, isn't it? I mean, I'm going to play this to you because the BBC News with George Alagaya.
OK, hello. The BBC has won a High Court battle for the right to broadcast child pornography, and there could be more bad news on the way. Good evening and welcome to the BBC's news taken out of context. Our top story tonight. The battle over bonuses is far from over. Hundreds of city traders and bankers wearing balaclavas ambushed the Royal Bank of Scotland today. Business tycoons carrying sledgehammers smashed Britain's biggest bank, shoplifting their multi-million-pound bonuses. Police have described the high-flying bosses as dangerous. But first, tonight, the celebrity chef Anthony Worrell Thompson has delivered a defiant speech at his local branch of Tesco. He promised to use an iron fist to deal with protests against his TV programmes. When it comes to alcohol, how much is too much? The court in Paris said it's up to Scotland to decide. They say you should have 300 units every 45 minutes and stop off for a beer on the way home. That's already a guideline in Scotland. Our correspondent, Jeremy Cook, has been focusing on the market town of Hereford.
Hereford. Jeremy Cook, BBC News, Hereford.
A reminder of tonight's main salacious gossip. There's been a shocked response around the world to video footage appearing to show US Secretary of State Hillary Clinton urinating on Boris Johnson for an ITV programme. It was deplorable behaviour. The Labour leader, Ed Miliband, has told the BBC that his cocks remained untouched for thousands of years and maybe, just maybe, the longest on record for a British citizen. Thousands of women remain confused and worried. The government says it has no plans to get the economy moving again. But David Cameron said the Olympic Games and the Queen's Diamond Jubilee would provide opportunities to showcase the countries struggling to pay the bills. In the meantime, there are still plenty of people who want to kill off David Cameron. But today there was a rare display of unity in the Commons as David Cameron and the Labour leader Ed Miliband both decided that they should be allowed to end their own lives. And Nick is in Westminster for us. What's David Cameron actually up to?
The British Prime Minister is a posh English Queen. He has his own dick up his arse.
Nick, thanks very much. Goodbye.
Yeah, I have to say that is proper good fun. Really is good fun. Gotta say thanks to Cassette Boy. Okay, Cassette Boy, look him up on YouTube. Thank you to Cassette Boy. Only found his channel just today. Great fun. Listened and laughed and laughed and laughed. And for those of you that aren't sure, that was a real mash of George Alagiah and what can be done. And although some of it was obviously a cut, a lot of it, and I mean a lot of it, it was excellent. You couldn't sense the cuts, could you? But we can feel the bloody cuts, can't we? We can. Now turn yourself.
I'm on. I've let myself off.
But we couldn't sense the cuts in there, but we can feel it in our lives.
We can, yeah.
Because austerity is now cool, isn't it?
Yeah.
Austerity is cool. Now we have people competing for what they've bought cheapest. Now, it's now cool to have spent less. This programming is very, very clever. Let's have a look at our first news story, because we're not going to talk about Sandy Hook because there is too much confusion out there as to what Sandy Hook was. So we don't pretend to know, do we?
No.
Because we don't know. We don't know. We do know that there's so much rubbish out there that it's been forgotten that these children were killed.
Yeah.
Now we're arguing over where the rifle was it handguns? It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter in the way that people are arguing over it, does it?
No.
It doesn't, no. It sort of made me look back and try and refresh my memory a little bit on Dunblane, yeah. Because we have our own history to look at.
We do.
And to concentrate on America's it makes us forget our own, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Because there was problems with Dunblane, and without going and reopening that wound, I think a lot of people have forgotten about what the judicial system did with the information that was to be kept. And it did actually, the Dunblane inquiry, the Cullen inquiry, actually sealed away information. And if you've got
I've just got the clip here. Yeah. It says criticism of the judiciary. Evidence of previous police interaction with Hamilton.
Yeah, that was the guy who did it, yeah.
That was the guy who was presented to the Cullen inquiry, but later sealed under a closure order to prevent publication for 100 years. The official reason for sealing the documents was to protect the identities of children, but this led to accusations of a cover-up intended to protect the reputations of officials.
So it's there, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's there in black and white that they've actually sealed the information that was demanded under the Secrets Act.
Under the Official Secrets Act.
Well, it's not under the official. It's under the secret. It's going to be kept secret for the protection of the children.
Of the children for 100 years.
And the judicial system itself frowned upon this, and said that they thought it was to protect the identities of the officials. Look into Dunblane yourself if you feel you want to know more about it. I will not broadcast stuff I don't know about.
No.
I will not make accusations about things that I cannot prove. Because accusations are things you can't prove, and in this world that we live, you need to be very careful what you say and who you say it to.
Yep.
Because if we're going to demand the truth, we better start making sure that we broadcast the truth. Because opinions, as I travel through this reality, opinions are becoming worth less. A lot less.
Yeah.
Because even though 99.9% of the public have stopped reading books of value, and do not demand facts. They watch TV and think they know stuff. Yeah. And they've got an opinion on every bloody thing. And I listen to these opinions, and I used to, but I don't now. I used to try and tell people that the opinion isn't the truth unless you can prove it. And when you get somebody saying to you, like happened to me today, I think the Americans should be disarmed. This is from somebody in my fish and chip shop today. I think the guns should be taken away. And I said, what has made you form that point of view? Because people wouldn't die if the guns didn't kill them. This is worrying, isn't it?
It's a worrying statement.
It is, isn't it? Because I said, guns don't
kill people.
If they didn't have the guns, they couldn't kill people. I realised that this wasn't going to be a winner for me. I wasn't going to get away with this. Because once we've formed an opinion and turned it into a belief, it's like planting a flag in the ground. And you bloody defend it.
Yeah. You don't want to be wrong.
You'll defend the right to be right, even though you can't prove you're right and others think you're wrong.
Yeah.
That's where we are.
We are at that point, yeah.
Throughout society. There's a gentleman comes in here. I'm trying not to identify my customers because that's not fair to them. But there's a gentleman comes in here, and his business is school security. Okay? Now, I openly say to him, building prisons for children. Right? He won't have any of it. He also thinks the Americans should be disarmed. How do we form these opinions? Well, it's really simple. They're given to us.
Yeah.
They aren't our opinions.
No, they're not.
They're not ours. They're given to us. They're given to us. And because we trust George Alagaya, and I mean, that's why I played it. Because we trust... I don't trust George Alagaya. George Alagaya is just doing as he's told.
He's doing a job, yeah.
We know a retired
BBC
news reader, his name won't come to me, wrote in his biography that he felt the BBC was a government, a state broadcasting system, and he had to sign contracts to guarantee that he would read exactly what was put in front of him and nothing more. He would not ad-lib, he would not comment further, and he would not change any single word on the autocue. He would read it as directed to, word for word, and then would finish work and go home. No questions asked.
No questions, no.
And that was in his biography. I must get his name.
Alistair Burnett, was it? No,
was it Peter Simmons? No, Peter somebody. Definitely, it'll come to me. It'll be here for next week anyway. But and he did. That's what he wrote. He said, we couldn't. A point of view was not required. We just sat there, read what was in front of us, and that was it.
Yeah.
And go home. Well, the BBC is a state broadcasting system. This is equivalent to any country that has a state broadcasting system.
Yeah.
Because that's what we've got. We do have a state media system. We do.
We do.
And like I say, we started this conversation on Dunblane just because I wanted to reiterate that we have our problems at this side of the pond as well.
We do.
And when we're talking to people on the street about what's going on in the world, and this Sandy Hook thing is now in people's minds. So, Dunblane, do you remember Dunblane, 1996, March 1996, do you remember that? They don't.
No.
And just that little strap line, you can say, our government has got things to hide as well.
Yeah.
They hide it, and they seal it for 100 years. And you can openly find out with just seconds looking that the judiciary itself said that this evidence was being withheld to protect officials.
Officials, yeah. It says officials there.
That's right.
It does.
So
those officials in 100 years will be dead. So when the information does come out, there's no ramifications of that, are there?
Exactly.
So they've got away with whatever they've done.
They've got away with it. All the perpetrators are dead.
All scot-free.
That's
the criminal justice system.
The criminal justice system in action. Let's have a look at the criminal justice system's expenses. Because we have something in this country called PFI, and this is Private Finance Initiatives. And this is where the government claims to have run out of money and cannot build the things you need for your services. So we invite private money into the public service sector. Let's
just think about it, because you've just said that in a way that made me think that the government has run out of money. And so now they're having to pimp themselves to attract investors. In fact, you could say they've probably gone on Dragon's Den. If
to a
a
point,
little bit of an analogy, isn't it? There, that,
yeah, I can see what you're doing there.
And this, I voted him in, Tony Blair. I don't vote anymore. I'm not looking for a leader anymore. But he initiated this as well. It was put in place originally by John Major, and then the Blair government, Labour government, carried through Conservative policies through. And
well, I know it is scary, isn't it? Because I mean, I do this time and time again. So, in 1997, Labour took charge, yeah,
yes,
and they had 13 years, right? 13 years. We can discuss those 13 years. It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter, no.
Right, it doesn't matter. But they had 13 years, and the opposition dutifully opposed every bloody thing because that's their job. Mm-hmm. Right, their job is to oppose every bloody thing. On telly, right? And then we swap places.
Yeah.
Then the baton's handed over, and it's you have a go now.
Uh-huh.
Okay?
Yep.
We've spent all the money on the poor people, or pretended to. Now you have to take it off the rich people, which is just code for middle-class people earning more than 30 grand. Okay? It's just code word. That's what it is, all right? So the Conservatives trying... In fact, anyway, let's not get into that.
No.
After 13 years in opposition... They took charge and changed
nothing.
Nothing at all. Nothing at bloody all. I mean, they've done a bit of tinkering called reforms.
Yeah, they spun it around a bit, made us a little bit dizzy on your magic roundabout.
It's nuts, man. And you can, and people say, well, it doesn't matter who you vote for now because the government always get in. You say, well, yeah, they do. Because the government never did give you a chance to vote them away.
No, they didn't.
They figured out a long time ago that if they gave you a real vote, you would have no hesitation in voting their wealth and power away. That's why you don't know their bloody names. That's why you don't know the connections. That's why you think the Queen is just there for flogging tourism and plates.
Yes.
That's because that's what you're meant to bloody think. The government never changes. The power resides in those corridors. Always did, always will. The puppet show, the lower house, is for us, the commoners.
Commoners, yeah.
Yeah, it's for us. And anything the commoners get up to, the lords will oversee. They will peer. They will peer down.
Yes.
See, P-E-R. P-E-E-R. Yeah, peer. Peer is to look at distance or depth, isn't it?
Yep.
If we peer, we're looking at a length or at a depth. If you walk down a pier, P-I-E-R, you're walking a length that's increasing in depth.
Because it's going out to sea.
That's right.
Going out to the deep sea.
That's right. Now, in the way that I decode reality, okay, length and depth is what you need to make a picture.
Yeah.
Isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
That's what you need to make a picture, to frame it, so you can give it length and depth. And what we try and do with the show is make a new picture appear in people's heads.
Yeah.
That's the language that we speak all day that we don't understand. This language that we have today is, as we've previously said, the most suitable version for what they want to achieve with it. If we look in years gone by, the 1400s, the 1500s, 1600s, I can't bloody read it. I don't really know what it means.
No.
And the people that's in Latin, well, yeah, most of it is in Latin. But as we come into Old English, as we come into the mixture of the new language being brought in, I still can't bloody read it. Or I can read it, but I have no idea what it means. Because this language, like the people, like the planet, and like everything else, has been made smaller, more efficient, because that is what maritime demand. Okay?
Yeah.
Concise, clear, brevity, whatever it is, I think, isn't it? It's something like that. And this language is becoming ever more efficient. It's becoming smaller, and we can use it easier.
Yeah, digital.
And the planet, the people, and everything in it have been contracted.
Yeah.
We've been contracted, made smaller. But a contract is to act not in your best interests.
Mm-hmm.
This is what they've done to us. And this language is now getting smaller. Look at the way the kids are writing. They're taking the life of the language away from it. Because we have 5 living entities in our language. And it's very easy The 5 living entities are the vowels. The A is the air, the E is the earth, the I is the fire, the O is the water, and the U is your spirit. And once you take those living beings out of a language, it can still live, but it cannot grow. It cannot grow no further. You ain't growing nowhere.
No.
Oh, no. You see, because the new language is now being taught to us. The computers are training us for it.
Yeah.
Because the new language is the language of computers. The language of commands and prompts.
Yeah, and clicks and
downloads.
Yeah.
Because we're going to play in Oceania. Except this time Oceania has got a net in it. And we're not coming back out. This is the global village that everybody's looking for us to go screaming into, that we can't resist. This is the fairground, the playground. This is the global village that is being built in front of our very eyes, and we can't keep out of it. Can we?
No, we need it. We use it every day.
We love it. We
for
love
everything.
It. And we can do anything we want in it. And our friend Google, who personalises our results, so we can ask him any question, and our faithful butler, Google, will answer. He knows everything. He's omnipresent. He can speak in any language, and he can communicate with us all individually as one.
Yeah.
It's a bloody miracle, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
It's also a bloody spot-on description of the Antichrist.
Exactly that.
That is a spot-on description of the Antichrist. And there is a numerology system using 6s that tells you that the computer is the bloody mark of the beast. I'll tell you, if you do mark of the beast in the same 6 numerology, you bloody get it. I'll tell you bloody do. It is frightening. Anyway, let's talk more about some blood-sucking parasites. The many blood-sucking parasites called politics.
Yeah.
Politics. Now, you and I actually have watched The Iron Lady. We both watched The Iron Lady, didn't we?
We did. I didn't watch it all the way through. I was tired. I went to bed.
But we did, though, didn't we?
But
Watched a little bit.
I watched enough to.
And it was good. It was good. Whether it's accurate or not doesn't matter.
I didn't think I'd enjoy it, but I did a little bit.
Yeah, but it was. Whether it's accurate or not doesn't matter.
No.
But the timeline and the sequence of events and the resistance that she came up across and some of the speeches that she gave, I felt I understood them a lot better. Because one thing this Christmas has taught me, and I think I was getting there eventually, was that I don't like the internet. I don't like it.
No.
I don't like sat here pressing buttons. I realise I have to get along with it. And I realise that I have no choice but to use it for things that I have to use it for. But it doesn't mean I like it. I don't like it. And having almost 2 weeks off at Christmas time, confirmed, I don't like it. And I'm not going to like it. And I realise why now. Because I was finding myself using the internet for my social structure. But it's not real.
No.
It's not real.
It isn't.
They're not there.
No, we've said that, haven't we? That they just want you at home, sat in your house. They don't want you interacting with other people.
But they're not there.
No.
You're not interacting with anybody.
You're not.
You're not. I mean, Facebook were pulled up 2 or 3 years ago. They openly admitted they created 750,000 fake profiles to make friends with you. Well, if they openly admit 750,000, well, that'll be the released. And you think they've stopped now, do you? Do you think they've stopped doing that? I don't think they've stopped doing that at all, do you?
No.
No, I really don't think so either.
If they can say that they've done it, then they know they're getting away with it, so they'll carry on doing it, won't
If there's money and men involved, there's corruption guaranteed to bloody follow.
Yeah.
That's the way it is. I'm not saying it's right, I'm saying that's what you've got to get used to.
It is. Well, going back to the PFI...
let's have a look at some of those figures, because... You go through that. You see, I'm going to have to get some new binoculars.
You need some new bins.
I'm going to need some new bins.
Just explain what PFI means. What do the initials PFI mean?
It's a public finance initiative. Okay, private finance initiative. It's private money. Private money coming into public services. Yeah.
And my first thoughts. What private finance initiative? And I do know that Blair talked about bringing these in and working hand in hand with the government. So it's private sector
Who
meets
can make the sun shine? Who can make the grass grow?
who meets public sector. But it's the actual interest.
It's always the interest.
It's always the interest.
It's always the interest. It's not worth a like, and not worth a bloody like until we've got the interest attached.
No, this is.
You see, the money makers, they want you all in debt, because when you're in debt, you'll do what your bloody debtor tells you to.
Yeah.
All right, you will do what the money manager says.
Uh-huh.
He's not bothered about the money. He's only interested in the interest. And the more debt he can get you in, the more interest he has. And it applies to individuals, councils, regional councils, police forces, public services, governments. They're interested in getting them all in debt.
In debt, yeah. So the PFI lend the money to the government to put in place the things that we want. Because they tell us that it's...
Is that what it says?
It's they tell us it's what we want. These are the things we want.
Well, they're being honest, that's what they want.
Yeah.
They're being honest, they're saying we want to do this, and the scam is open for us all to
It's
say.
open for us all. We need to war on terrorism. The new tanker aircraft here. Anyway, I won't. But there's one figure that will be interested to everybody, because we all need the NHS at some point. Department of Health.
You're going to stop calling it the NHS.
Well,
I mean, I've got people who work in the NHS who now openly confirm it's a death management system.
The death management services, Department of Health. Department of Health here. The total capital cost here, it says, is, and it's in millions, 11,614,000. And these are the repayments that they're expecting back.
Yeah, but this is 11.6 whatever is billion.
It's total capital cost in million. Oh, it is billion. Yeah. 11,614,000,000. Sorry.
Yeah. No, millions is for poor people.
Yeah.
Millions is for poor people. So that's gone.
Yeah, and this is what they're expecting, the total repayments that they're going to have to pay back.
What the PFI investment is 11.6 billion.
It is.
Yeah, and they want back.
And they want back in interest 79,157,000,000.
Marvellous, isn't it? Seven times the investment. 7 times.
7/11s are 77.
Guess what the government are doing is, the government are basically, well, we say the government and banks and business are now all one. They're all in bed together. They all sleep together and they all shag each other's wives, I'm sure. But we'll leave that to one side for a moment. What's happening is, big business is investing in our infrastructure. Now, if we go back 50 years, okay, the people of this country were not only employed by, but they benefited from the profits and service provided by shipbuilding, steel making, coal mining, the water business, the electricity company, the gas board, the post office, post office and British Telecom, same thing. These are just some of the things that belonged to the people of this country. It employed them, it provided them pensionable wages, and the profits were given to the government to reinvest in the well-being and future of this nation. All those things have been sold. Did we receive a penny? Did the people receive a penny? The answer is no.
No, we didn't.
No, it was taken from us and sold under the guise of repaying the debt and a failing industry.
Yeah.
And then we gave it to outside private financiers, and magically they turned it into a profitable business within months.
Yeah.
This is the same thing that's going on here.
It is.
Our public services. Tell me what's on that list. We've got plenty of time, because I want people to realise that every bloody service that is a government department is going to fall into private hands.
It's going to fall into private hands
as it goes bankrupt over time.
Which in those figures there tell you, well, if you had a business and you'd borrowed that kind of money and you had to pay that amount back, the bank would say, I'm not lending you any money against them figures.
But this is theft from the public purse. This is theft of the monies that we haven't yet earned.
We've not earned them, no, that's the thing.
This is slavery.
It is slavery.
This is bloody slavery.
This is slavery.
It's nothing less.
No.
Right, it's like building... It's like building a £50,000 house. right? But going to the bank and agreeing to pay £5 million
Back for it, yeah.
for it. And the bank says, thanks very much. But the bank and the government and the business are the same bloody players.
The same players, yeah.
They're going to share it all out amongst themselves. This is theft. I mean, look at the LIBOR scandal. No one's been in bloody prison. This is billions of pounds that have been sold. And I mean, where's the bailout money gone? Where bloody is it?
Where is it? Yeah.
Where's the bloody money gone? Yes, the government have magicked this bank. I mean, where's the people saying the Bank of England is a private institution? How many people in the Truth Movement have you heard talking about that?
None.
The Bank of England is a private institution, there for profit.
Yeah.
The boss's picture's on the bloody money.
It is.
Right? And it's a private institution built purely and solely for profitable purposes.
Yeah.
Where do they print the money from? Exactly. Bloody nothing.
Nothing, no.
Nothing at all.
Fresh air.
The money has no value to them.
No,
it's what we'll do for it.
It's what
and
we'll do
give
for
up
it.
for
Exactly. It's back to the slavery.
It's what we'll do for it and what we'll give up for it. And we've given up gas, steel, ships, cars, rail, post office, water, electric. We've given up all those things, and now they're having the very things.
They're having
their very infrastructure.
The very infrastructure
that allows
now.
us to live like this.
That's all we've got left to sell.
And there is nothing else after that.
There isn't.
Because then it'll be your body.
Yeah.
Then they'll be taking stuff out of your body and selling it.
Yeah.
Because that's the next stop. The next stop is just picking people up off the street and selling the bloody organs.
Yeah.
They won't do that.
No.
Well, let's see, shall we? I ain't saying they will, but I'm not going to promise you they bloody well won't. Well, what makes you say that? Because I have a feeling it's already going on.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, and it's just a bloody feeling, which is one of the senses that most people have forgotten. There is more than 5 senses.
There are.
Number 6 is 7. Number 6 is common, and number 7 is feeling. Common sense gone. Feeling. Well, we do talk about how we're feeling now, as to rather how we're thinking, because feeling appears to be more appropriate than bloody thinking. And that was Maggie said that, didn't she?
Yeah.
She said we care more about how we feel than bloody thinking up new ideas. We care more about how others feel than making those ideas successful. Am I a Maggie Thatcher fan? No. She played her part in getting us all into debt up to our neck.
She did.
She said, I want to see houses cascading down. The wealth will cascade down the generations. We will become a nation of homeowners. She was right. She just didn't say it would be for long.
Which ones and who'd be owning the homes.
Exactly. She just didn't say how long we'd get to keep them until I wanted them back.
Yeah. But the list here, I'll just quickly run through it. Cabinet Office, Crown Prosecution Service, Department for Business, Innovation and Skills, Department for Communities and Local Government, Department for Culture, Media and Sport, Department for Education, Department for Energy and Climate Change, Department for Environment, Food and Rural Affairs, Department for Transport, Department for Work and Pensions, of Health, Foreign and Commonwealth Office, GCHQ, HM Revenue and Customs, Treasury, Home Office,
all of them.
Ministry of Defence, Ministry of Justice, Northern Ireland, Scottish Government, Welsh Assembly. The total, they've totaled it up here, 54 billion, 712 million.
That's the investment. That's outside investment.
That's the outside investment they're looking for.
And the return. And the return.
And the return is 301 billion, 343 million.
Over 500%.
Yeah.
Over 500%. Now we know, right? We know that all those services, right, are going to fall into private hands.
They are.
Well, we can only describe it as going bankrupt, but they'll actually just be taken into private hands. We won't notice the difference until we become their customers.
Yeah.
Because that's what they're doing this for. We're going to become customers to everything that we need.
Yes.
Yep, that's and when you need something,
consumers as well.
No, well, okay. The customs of the sea is custom air, and to consume what you see is to consume air. So consumers, see, mare, air, consume air, air is sea, M-E-R. Anyway, I wish people would actually pick up on this language thing because it is so illuminating, isn't it?
It is.
It really does show you that this has been designed to make sure we talk ourselves into bloody enslavement.
Enslavement.
We actually enact maritime admiralty product on land.
Yeah.
And therefore are committing commerce and therefore are taxable. That's how they've done it.
Yeah.
Anyone can check this. A maritime admiralty product is a bloody roadmap.
It is.
This is a road to bloody nowhere we're going on, I'll tell you. They know where we're going, and we bloody don't know. This is nowhere for us, and they know. The word K-N-O-W and N-O is not different. It's just we don't know how to connect it properly.
Don't know how to connect it, no.
No, we bloody well don't. Or everything is going to be in private hands.
Yeah.
And if you can't pay, you're not going to get it. Because all those services there are the services that we pay for.
They are.
Look at them all. Look at they're all the services we pay for.
That we pay for out of taxi, yeah.
That's right.
It's
So
out of our taxation.
it goes to private hands, but we're still
paying
for the staff.
Yes.
Right, just like G4S.
Yeah.
Right, we're going to pay their bloody wages, but they're a private enforcement company.
They are.
Their policy enforcement is, their policy makers get them to enforce the policy upon us. So we pay the wages of Homeland Security,
yeah,
but we become the bloody customers,
yes,
for the bonus. This is how they get the bonus bloody system.
Yeah.
And like the police have been taught, if you don't do so many tickets a month, you've not made your quota.
No, you're not making your revenue. No.
And this is how this is going to go. They're going to criminalise us all.
Yeah.
They can criminalise us at any time.
They can.
They can sit. I mean, the thing is that we've come to a system of justice now that is, it's not laughable. I'd like to say it was laughable, but it's not laughable. It's now bloody terrifying because it doesn't matter now if you're innocent. What matters now is, do you have the money
to be able to
be able to prove you're innocent?
Yeah.
So this doesn't matter anymore. We don't have a system of justice at all. Did we ever have it? Maybe. I don't know. I know I'm still sat here, but I know I won't be allowed to do this forever. Eventually, there will be a knock on the door that says, "Hey,
you've had your chance."
Hi. I do believe that day will come. Will I stop doing it? Well, we'll see when that day comes, shall we?
Yeah.
Let's see, because I've got a duty to my daughter first.
You have.
I've got a duty to my daughter.
And I've got children as well. And
that's right.
They always come first.
Yeah, exactly.
They do.
Yeah, my daughter comes first. And people say, well, there'll be no future. There'll be no future for your daughter if you don't stand up. You say, well, you do what you think's best, and I'll keep doing what I think's best.
Yeah.
And I'm going to fight the good fight, and fight the good fight, and fight the good fight, and I'm never going to stop fighting. But I'm not going to lose it all.
No.
Oh, no. No.
No.
You see, I meet too many people in the Freeman movement. And these Freeman movement, I admire the guy's dedication. I know how many hours, weeks, and probably months, and maybe even longer, that they have studied. And after 4 or 5 years, there are very few winners. But by golly, there's an awful lot that have lost everything. They've lost everything. Now, I'm not here to criticise anybody because that doesn't help the cause.
No.
But I don't want to risk everything.
No.
I want to not risk everything.
I want to not risk everything.
That's right. I want to find like-minded people who will come to council meetings, who will copy DVDs, and who really will try and communicate the truth in a way that's attractive without scaring people. Because if we don't learn to teach and be attractive, if we don't learn to enlighten without making the listener feel dim, if we don't learn to empower without making the listener feel weak, we're never going to learn. We're not going to figure this out. We've got to learn the magician's bloody tricks.
We have.
And then we've got to show how the trick is done.
Yep.
So the power and illusion has gone.
Gone, yeah.
That's right. There is no power for the
There's
magician.
no power then, no.
You see, I mean, there are people who talk about auras and spirituality and aliens and Planet X and Nibiru. They talk about special drugs. They talk about wonderful ideas of a utopia where we're all the same. And we all live together in a community where we're all the same. Which is exactly what the system wants.
Yeah, that's what they want you to.
I find too many people on the bottom layers are voting for their version of bloody socialism.
Yeah, because they don't want to do anything.
Because they don't want to do anything.
No.
That's right. I mean, we have to accept that in this wonderful world we live, and it is a wonderful world, and if you can't see it, you're not looking properly. It's not as broken as you think it is. Yes, the people do have their faults, and yes, the system isn't perfect. But you know what? You build me a better one, and then prove it can be done. Because all this system needs is honest bloody money.
That's it.
It needs honest money. Will it get honest money? Well, not until enough people demand it.
Not until exactly that.
That's
Not
right.
until enough people have realised what this means. Those figures that we've just said.
Yeah.
And going back to the show that we did before Christmas, and where you'd found the information, there it is. The Slavery Abolition Act repealed. If you
we don't know about that.
If you don't believe we're in slavery,
you're not going to believe anything.
Those two things there, those figures, and you can go find them if you want. Where you've got this from, Data Blog.
Yeah, it's from the Telegraph.
It's from the Guardian. It's from.
I'll put the link up. I'll put the link up. The link will be. In fact, you're listening to us now. The link will be below this show.
Yeah.
The link will be below this show. Very easy to find. None of this information is hidden. This is what frustrates us quite a bit, isn't it? That it's not that hard to actually decode this reality.
No.
It's simple. It's just a bigger version of the playground.
Yeah.
And once you see it for what it is there an outside force ruling this? Well, yeah, it's evil.
It's evil, yeah.
It's evil. And it lives in your house and your life too. And it lives in mine. And I've got two choices every day. I can do the right thing, or I can give in to temptation.
Yeah.
It's good versus evil. Always has been, always will be. Is there an outside entity? Well, to join the Masons, you've got to believe there is. To join any religion, you've got to believe somebody has more control over your life than you.
Yes.
I am not saying that isn't true. But I'm saying that I'll live in a way that isn't expecting any help.
Yes.
Because if I get some help along the way from an outside entity and people say, well, you've already had it. You're right, I might have.
I might have done, yeah.
I might have had the help. This might be the gift that I've been given to allow to see it. Well, thanks very much.
Yeah, it says God helps those that help themselves.
Yeah, but if this is the gift I'm given, if this is how I've been helped, then he's telling me to shout loud and proud, save yourselves, save yourselves,
Yeah.
save yourselves, save yourselves, and find other people. Don't find people who are drowning because they'll want you to save them. And they'll try and drown you. Have a look around, because drowning in this reality is debt. People are drowning in bloody debt. And all you have to say to them, I think I may be able to help you. And they go, really?
Yeah.
Really? Really? And they fall for it. The TV company said, if you're in debt, give us a call.
Yeah.
We'll consolidate your debt into one easy monthly payment.
Yeah.
So people do.
They do, yeah.
Makes it bloody worse.
It does, and
All these people do is phone up all your creditors and say, right, we're going to have to negotiate the payment down, otherwise you get nothing.
yeah.
Well, do it your bloody self.
You can do it yourself, yeah, if you want to.
Do it your bloody self.
I know. There's a few people that have done those, and I've said to them, just stop. What should I do? I said, stop paying it. Stop paying it. Yeah, just stop paying it.
That's how to get your money troubles can be solved by stopping bloody paying them.
They were moaning they'd not got enough money for gas and electric and feeding the kids. I says, pay your gas, your electric, and feed your kids, and stop paying the IVA, whatever it was they'd taken out.
Yeah.
And has anything happened to them? No.
No.
And they were worried sick that something were going to happen to them.
No.
And
Look, they have got thousands and thousands of people just like that have run out.
yeah,
They've run out of fuel.
yeah,
There is nothing left.
nothing
Their
left.
batteries are flat. Right, and they know. That's why they don't come after you. They might threaten to come after you. They might send the attack dogs called We'll Collect It or Kick Your Door In services.
Yeah,
Right? But they won't. They won't come and try and steal from those that have got nothing to steal. They're going to jail you because it's too expensive.
yes, it'd be
Right.
too costly to do that.
I'm not advocating people don't pay the bills.
No, I'm not either.
Because that's what the Freemen sometimes say, don't pay your bills.
Yes.
And I can't follow that. The Freemen say don't insure your car.
No.
And I can't follow that. No, I can't go with that.
No, I don't go with that
No,
either, Paul.
I can't.
No, I'm sorry.
Well, it's a real difficult one to explain, but I'm going to have a go. And that is that if you want to live independently, to be self-sustaining, to be responsible for yourselves and independent of the system, you can do that. You can still do that right now, right here in this reality.
Yeah,
Ask the gas board to take your gas meter away. Ask the electric board to take your electric meter away. you make your own arrangements about water, whether you can plug into next door neighbours and just give them a five or what, I don't know.
Yeah.
But you can do it. You can do it. Yes, you're going to have to pay for your bins to be emptied. But if you don't make any rubbish, I'm sure you'll be able to apply not to pay it.
Not to pay it, yeah.
But if you want to live with a paraffin heater and some candles, go right ahead.
Yeah.
This system doesn't stop you.
It doesn't stop you doing it.
If you want to grow fruit in your back garden,
which we do.
Yes, we do.
Yeah.
This system does not stop you doing
No,
that.
it doesn't stop you, no.
Right? If you want to live free, that's almost as close as you can get. Unless you want to go see a farmer and ask him if you can pitch a tent,
Yeah.
a big one,
In his field.
and rent
But
a corner in his field.
he'd say, no, I want some money for that.
Exactly. So you know, that's your options. It doesn't stop you really. But remember, when you flush your loo, that's a service. When you go to the doctors, that's a service.
Yeah.
When you call the police or the fire brigade, that's a service. When you use your car on the road, that's a service.
Yeah.
Now, you're going to pay something.
You're
You're going to have to pay something.
And there may be some people out there listening to what we're saying and saying, yeah, but we pay too much for these, blah, blah, blah. Yes, we do pay too much for these. And some people might say, well, what are these two chaps here sat there? What are they going to do about it? Well, we've talked about what we could do about it, haven't we?
Yeah.
And the simple thing is, take corruption out of it all.
Yeah, honest money and but you've got to challenge the corruption. It's not going to give up.
No,
The corruption is not going to stop. I mean, you have to start at a local level, and you have to find 2 or 3 or 4 like-minded people.
Yeah.
And if you really want to make a difference, you will. And if you really want to say you're going to make a difference, you won't.
Mm-hmm.
Because this sitting pressing buttons isn't going to change a bloody thing.
No.
If you're sat here pressing buttons all day, every day, you're a slave.
Yes.
You're a broken slave.
Yeah.
And you know you are.
Yeah. And I'm.
And that's what you don't like, isn't it? Because the one thing about slaves is, at this, too many are on the benefits system.
Mm-hmm.
And they call the people who pay their benefits sheep.
They do.
And I don't like that.
No, we've never liked that term, have we?
I don't like that.
No, we've never liked the sheeple term.
Because you would bloody starve except for these sheep. You would bloody starve.
Mm-hmm.
You'd be shoplifting bloody Tesco's.
Yeah.
But no, you can sit home and play on the internet all day, pretending that you're doing something that matters.
Yeah.
When you're living on somebody else's money, in somebody else's house.
Yeah. And if and when that money stops, which goes on to this next article, which you're all debating on in now, aren't they? In the thieves that sit there. Once those benefits have gone and they've taken away from you, you're one step out the door to being on the street, aren't you?
Well, first thing is you're going to have to. Well, you'll be back home. You'll go back to your parents. That's where you're going back to.
Yeah, and there's
lots of people are moving back in with their parents. And I told a story not last week now, but last time I was on, I told a story about a guy who was, I don't know how old he is, 30-ish. He's got a partner and 2 kids, and he didn't say him and his partner had split up, but he was actually going back to live with his mum and dad because she could get more benefits.
Yeah.
Which we know is part of the agenda.
It is part of the agenda.
We know that is part of it.
Yeah.
You're ready for beautiful, natural-looking, easy-to-apply nails.
Our impulses are being redirected. We are living in an artificially induced state of consciousness that resembles sleep. The poor and the underclass are growing. Racial justice and human rights are non-existent. They have created a repressive society, and we are their unwitting accomplices. They are dismantling the sleeping middle class. More and more people are becoming poor. Their intention to rule rests with the annihilation of consciousness. We have been lulled into a trance. They have made us indifferent to ourselves, to others. We are focused only on our own gain. They are safe as long as they are not discovered. That is their primary method of survival. To keep us asleep, keep us selfish, keep us sedated. We are their cattle. We are being bred for slavery. The revolution. Break their signal. Our transmitter is not powerful enough. The signal must be shut off at the source.
And there you have it then. The signal must be shut off at the source. Now, lots of people, don't they? When we talk to lots of people, we talk about... Let's move on. As you can tell, I've moved on. Yeah. We're now on the media, and primarily television and the movies. Okay? Now, TV and the movies, I think most people in the truth movement will say pre-programming.
Yeah.
Okay? And then they'll proceed to blame Hollywood and the television for pre-programming them.
Yep.
Right? As if they're doing something wrong.
Yep.
Right? As if Hollywood is doing something wrong. Now, I'm not saying that's not what Hollywood are doing, but there is no gun to our heads, is there?
There isn't.
Okay? There is nobody making us watch this, is there?
No.
So, you have to look in the mirror, and the first question you need to ask is, so why are we watching it? Why are we watching the mindless, senseless violence, the killing, the torture, and why do we make it box office?
Mm.
And then, why do parents see no problem in allowing kids of 10, 11, 12 and older to virtually live in their pods called bedrooms, enjoying the glory of mindless, senseless games of killing?
Mm.
And then, because we're so bloody stupid, we wonder why nobody cares anymore.
Yeah.
Is it true, my lord? Could it be true, Your Honour, that Hollywood can claim they have been shouting loud and proud for a long bloody time that this is the future unless you change it?
Mm.
Could that be your argument? Would that be your argument, Your Honour? Because it could be a good argument, couldn't it?
Yeah.
Because if you can't resist temptation, then the devil moves in. Because he doesn't break in, does he?
No.
He asks to come in. He has to ask to come in. He doesn't break your bloody door down. So if you're making these movies box office, what is it in you that likes this?
Uh-huh.
What is going on in your head?
Yeah.
Because now you understand what programming really is.
Yep.
Programming is done by your programmers, and they know more about you than you're ever going to learn, because they have got thousands of years of fine-tuning us, and we do not know anything about ourselves.
No.
We are given quackery bloody science from quackery people with crackery bloody pills. We've been miseducated in slave training centres, which are daytime prisons, in a can't concentrate camp for the parents.
Yeah. And then the parents are blaming the teachers and
whose responsibility is it to teach children?
Yeah, whose is it?
Whose responsibility is it to teach your children? If you pass it to somebody else, you can guarantee one thing: they'll charge you and do it. But they won't do it for the children's benefit, no.
No.
There is not a tradesman in this world that I know of. There is not a tradesman, a carpenter, a qualified expert in anything that will train his student to be better than he is. The student only becomes the teacher when he betters the teacher.
When he betters him, yeah.
And the teacher doesn't teach him how to better him. The student does that. For the student to become the teacher, he has to be better than the teacher.
Yeah.
You see, again, we need to start looking at reality in a way that actually is bloody real.
Yeah.
Because we always look at reality in a way that it's bad for us, which translates into it's not how I want it to be. Well, which bit is yours and which bit are you going to bloody affect?
Yeah.
Because if you're listening to me now, you're not affected one bit of anything. Now, the kids, I've got a youngster who helps me out sometimes. She's a lovely, lovely girl, she is. And I said to her over Christmas, because she was helping me out in the shop, how much debt will you be in when you've finished your education? And she said, about 40,000. And she'll be 21.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, well, that's an awful lot of money to pay back. And she said, well, you know, I don't have to pay it back all at once, and I can take my time. And you know, I said, yeah, but that's 20 quid a week for 40 years. And she went, huh? I said, it's 20 quid a week for 40 years, or it's 40 quid a week for 20 years, or it's 80 quid a week for 10.
Mm.
And I could see the shock
On her face.
of actually putting it into simple bloody figures.
Yeah.
Now she realised how big it was. 40,000 in her head, I think, before then, had been, well, if I get a job at 25,000, 30,000 a year, I'll be on 35 in my second or third year. It'll be no problem paying it back.
Yep.
I mean, I wish her well.
I do.
I wish her well, and I'm not trying to say she won't do it. She's taking a chance and she's going to give it a go.
Yep.
Which is fine. But you can see the future when you've learned the past and where the path's been.
Yeah.
Because the path does try and stay fairly straight. They do try and keep to the path.
They do.
And we know with this new pension scam that's coming along, it's already here, the new pension scam that's actually designed to lower us all down to minimum wage and make us work 24 hours a week, which people are starting to realise now. I've spoken about this a number of times, but 18 months ago when they first announced this, I said, this is easy. This is all down to minimum wage, no more bloody wage rises, you'll be on minimum wage,
and
you'll be on 24 hours a week, and you'll treat that as a full-time job.
It'll be
and
full-time.
And you'll go and plug onto the government. Well, you'll try and get a second job, and that brings employment. Anyway, you'll try and get a second job, but you'll be plugged onto the government tit because that is where they want you.
Yeah.
That is where they want you. This is designed to split us up, divide and conquer.
Yeah.
Those that have, taking from those that haven't. And those that haven't, I'm making a mess of that one there. Those that haven't, taken from those that have. And I find myself fighting to try and bridge that divide because I'm aware of it. I'm aware of that divide, but I have to bridge it with a simple answer to myself. It's not entirely their fault. It's not but it is their fault when they don't choose to do something about it.
Yeah.
That's what I find. That they say, well, there's no jobs. Well, do something. You know, if you're so damn keen on making a difference in the world, what have you done today? What have you done? Help anybody? Give anybody some money? Do a job for somebody for free? Do any of those things, did you? No, you didn't, did you? Learn anything of any value? You see, value isn't what a lot of people who watch YouTube think it is. Value is not knowing something that somebody else doesn't bloody know. Value is being able to use what you learn to turn it into a profit for yourself. That's capitalism now. No, it's called saving your own ass. Instead of stealing from other people and pretending you're not stealing. Instead of pretending that these are my benefits. I mean, I deserve these. I mean, I've done a little work along the way. I've paid in. Delusion. Delusion, Mr. Bloody Wordsworth.
Yeah.
That's all it is. This is delusion. This is like the council workers who dress up in their licorice all-sort coloured fancy dress or their power-dressing bloody wordsmithery. And they look at you with your business and they say, oh, yes, I see, yes, well, we need to check everything's in order. And do you know what they're actually saying to themselves? He wouldn't have this business if it wasn't for me and the council. Because we created the infrastructure and we gave him the licence and we allowed him to be successful. So his success is down to me. It's down to me. So I'm going to come in and check that he's looking after the council's investment.
Yeah.
Backwards delusion.
Okay.
You find me a councillor who doesn't actually believe that's true. You find me somebody who can't make anything except rules to get paid. That's how they think.
They do.
This is how these Hitlerian, authoritarian, jellyfish people who can't tie their own bloody shoelaces, half of them can't drive their own goddamn cars, and they think everything is on expenses.
Yep.
Because they speak about us like we are cattle. Even they make demand, even the council taxes the demand. Ask for an invoice, they won't bloody give you one. They can't bloody give you one. Because the council don't work that way. There's a budget the council have, and that budget is the amount of money that you've given them that they allocate to spend on services. But it's not what they get.
No.
Oh no, they get much more. The comprehensive annual financial report, which I've been requesting for some time.
And not got yet.
I haven't got it yet, no. But we've gone through a few channels, and I'm going to keep persevering with this. The comprehensive annual financial report, now that's how much money they get, and they allocate a portion of that for the services that they need. Simple. And if you don't think that's true, look it up.
Yeah.
Look it up. Arguing with each other is just ridiculous. If you're still arguing with people, what stage would you say you're at? What stage would you say people are at if they're arguing?
You've not even started yet.
Not really, have you?
No.
You've
not even got off the starting blocks.
You've not read anything, have you?
No.
No, you've just listened.
Yeah.
You see, I mean, the government says, look, don't believe your own eyes, right? Because what we need you to believe is what we tell you. So don't believe your own eyes. Listen to what your ears are hearing from us. This is how they've got us now.
Yeah.
It's not what you see, it's what we tell you you're seeing. It's a bit like... we've got to the point now where if you imagine you're sat in your own front living room quietly and your ex-partner turns up, walks into the living room, right, goes into your jacket, opens your wallet, takes 20 quid out, puts 20 quid in the pocket, puts your wallet back in your jacket, wanders out the door, never says a word. Then 3 minutes later they come back in and say, "Oh, hello, how are you?" And you say, "I'm all right. You've just come in and nicked 20 quid out of my jacket." And they say, "I haven't." "No, I didn't." You say, "I just saw you do it." I don't know what you've just seen, but are you sure you're all right now? You've been on your own a little while now, are you? Do you feel okay? Are you feeling a little under the weather? Can I get you something to drink? And you say, "No, I've just seen you walk in, steal out of my wallet, walk out without a bloody buy or leave, and you've come back in, pretend there's nothing happening." You perhaps need to speak to somebody else. I don't think I'm qualified to help you at this moment in time. I don't know what you think you've just seen, and you're scaring me a bit because you think it's real, don't you? And for you it is real. And I'm not going to tell you you're wrong. I'm going to try and help you to see what's happening to you. And that's how this is done.
Yeah.
Don't believe your own bloody eyes. You listen to what the voices that promise to keep you safe are telling you. Because these are the voices that tempt you into rooms that you wouldn't normally go into. And once you're in that room, they slam the door and switch the bloody light off, don't they? And where are we going in this crazy sun, moon and stars management system? We're going back into the dark ages. And this is where they're having their fun with us now. They're tempting us back.
They are. They're testing the water.
They are. That we really are getting close. I mean, there's not a lifetime left before this comes. There's not a lifetime left for sure.
No.
That we are going to fall. The Romans fell. It was once the fall really started. It took less than 80 years for complete capitulation. I think our fall started maybe about 40, 50 years ago. There's not a lifetime left, I don't think. And these people, they don't care. They do not care. They openly say, "Shall we kill them all, or shall we just let them party themselves to death?" They're not bothered. They're not bothered. We've been looking for a financial crash for ages, and there'll be another one, and there'll be another one, and there'll be another one, and it'll still be here, and we'll still be hanging on because this is how they keep us.
Yeah.
We are financial indebted slaves. If they crashed this money system and wiped out the debt, well, the game would be over.
Yeah.
That's not what this is about.
No.
This is about it becoming unfathomable, like unsayable debt.
Yeah.
This is about unsayable debt.
It isn't.
Forever. Forever.
Going back to what you were saying about the youngsters and only working 22 hours. We used to do a 40-hour week, and you used to do overtime. And I've got a relative in my family, he's just left school. He's got his first job, and they're paying him £100 a week, and that's fine because he's still living at home with his mum and his stepdad. But and he's got a job in a fish and chip shop as well. But he rang in at the fish and chip shop on Saturday because he was too tired, and he's 18 years old. And I just sat down after I'd come off the phone with my stepdad, who was telling me the story. And I said to Karen, I can't believe what I've just heard. I said, he's 18 years old. He should have bags of energy.
But look at him. Look at them, they haven't got... Look, but we know what that is. We know why that is.
We do.
First of all, they've got no ambition. Right, this system does not inspire. This is not designed to inspire.
It's not inspiring them to do anything, is it?
We're designed to expire. Right, never mind aspire. They're conspiring, so we expire.
Yeah.
This is all spiralling out of control. That's what's bloody going on. I mean, looking back at the kids now, what have they got to look forward to? Well, minimum wage.
Yeah.
So what do they invest the time in? Well, new phones.
New phone, yeah.
Do they want cars? No.
No, they
Do
don't.
they want foreign holidays? No.
No.
Are they happy with 24 hours a week? Yeah. Do they treat it like a full-time job? Yeah.
They do.
Are they exhausted? Yeah.
And they're exhausted.
Yeah, but they're living at home for free. They've got to be living at home for free. I mean, look, these students with 40 grand's worth of debt.
Yeah.
Right, we'll come back to the teaching thing here. And that is that if parents demand that the state educates their children, which it's never going to do, it's going to educate them in how to be a good slave.
It is.
It's never going to educate them to any standard to challenge what is already in place, the status quo as we call it. But this reality still allows you to be a success without them. That's why we've got libraries.
Yeah.
You can go to a library. Oh, they're closing them. Look, don't butt in. Sit down, little boy. We can go to libraries and order any book we want. We can virtually read any book we want online. You can buy them for pennies.
You can now,
compared to what they did cost. Right, and you can contact the examination board and ask them for a curriculum for the subject you want to study. They'll send you the curriculum at a very small cost. You'll have the curriculum. They'll tell you which study books you need. They'll tell you what subjects you need to cover and be obviously comfortable with. And then, if you want to go sit the exam, you can pay a small fee and go sit the exam with the other students who've paid for that information. But you can do it your bloody self.
Yeah.
But they don't want to. You get what you deserve. You get what you deserve. And when are people going to look in the mirror and say, if my life's going sort of badly, it's because I'm bloody rubbish at it.
Yeah. What am I doing wrong? Yeah. I need to start have a look at...
It's because I'm bloody rubbish at it. And you say, what special skill do you have? None really. So when did you expect to be bloody successful? When did you expect that your life would be a breeze to live, that you would have a car, a house, 2 kids, a holiday, and savings and a big pension? What on earth made you think that that was available to you because you bloody wanted it?
Yeah.
Right, because that's not the way this works.
No.
I wish it were different. I wish I could come up with a better system that actually would give everybody the opportunity. And it does exist, but only in my head.
Yeah.
The first thing is that we need a proper education system. We need honest money.
We need honest money.
And we need to challenge corruption.
Interest-free money as well.
We should at least have that for houses.
Yeah.
We should at least. I mean, if you want to actually set off or try and knock somebody back when they're trying to chew at you, I just use this one and it levels the playing field immediately. And that is that if the government of the day, or the government of the country, really wanted to help its people and encourage them to be financially successful, it would take over the mortgage business. Right? It would say, you come to us for your house mortgage, and we give you it interest-free. And you pay it back at whatever bloody speed you're okay with. And when you've paid it, it's yours to do what you want with. And you can give it to your kids, and we won't tax you. Once you've paid for it, it's yours.
It's yours.
Right? And we'll set up a system where if you need to move house, you value that house, and you value that house, and whatever the difference is, you come to us for it. Never mind this agency of thievery who've devised a language called legalese that you don't understand, so therefore have to pay 250 quid an hour for. It's that bloody simple. Just because you don't understand what we're verily, merrily, Riley saying.
Yeah.
We'll charge you 250 quid an hour because you don't bloody get it, do you? I mean, going back to a story that I have to tell because you've reminded me of it. This was the Saturday before Christmas, right? In the shop, busy Saturday lunchtime, I could see a lovely dressed lady in red at the back. Really, really attractive. I mean, obviously, really nice. Super looking lady, dressed in red, immaculate. Don't see many of them in the shop. Okay, so spotted it quite quickly. And I was talking to somebody else about this fish and chips illusion. That's what we live in. I'm not going to go into it now. On the YouTube channel that you're listening to right now, 2 or 3 videos back, there is a obvious or oblivious. There's a talk on there. I'm going to do another one, a part 2 for it, but I'm not even going to start getting into it tonight. Anyway, I was talking about the fish and chips illusion that we live in, that the Decepticons of business make us use. And it is ironic that I have a fish and chip shop, because the way that this language connects, I can prove it. I can prove it beyond doubt that there is a connection. And we are the fish, and small fish are called fry, and we've been battered, and then we've been drowned. You see, battered and then drowned in my batter boat, and then we're thrown into the sea to be fried. Okay, the batter, because it's, and what I throw them into is called dripping. Right, this is bloody Oceania. This is George Orwell, when he called it Oceania, knew all this stuff, right?
He did.
Remember, the fish are called fry, they're being battered, they're now drowned in my boat, and now fried in the dripping. That's why it's called beef dripping. Right, and if you think there's no connections, you think what you want, but I know bloody different. Anyway, I was going through the fish and chips illusion. She was moving along the line as the customers were getting served, and I knew that she was now listening to me. So I waited till she came past me, because they all come past me while I'm doing my cooking. And I said, hello. She said, hello. I said, I couldn't help noticing that you were laughing. And I thought, I'll just chance my arm. I said, which part of the law game are you involved in? And she said, contract law for the music business. And she laughed away, and I said, the music business? She says, yeah, the music business. And I said, I used to have something to do with the music business, but I said, the word that's interests me is contract, to make smaller. And she was laughing away. She says, yeah, that's sort of it, yeah. And I said, what about this fish and chips illusion? And she nodded away and said, yeah, I do know what you mean, yeah, I do. And I said, so you're not saying that I'm wrong? No, I'm not saying you're wrong, she said. And I said, well, what do you make of it all? She said, well, it's out there to learn. Anybody can learn this stuff. She said, if people are too lazy to learn, then those that aren't are going to benefit. Now, whether you like it or not, that's bloody reality. That is it. And the people at the bottom have lost. They've lost this race.
Yeah.
Now, it doesn't mean they can't pick themselves up and take part and get along.
No.
But you've got to understand this is a race.
It is.
And if we built the utopia that some people claim we could have, which is, we basically don't work and we all look after each other's needs, and there's no such thing as money, and the food magically grows its bloody self, and everything that is repairs its bloody self. Well, okay, let's just go along with that analogy. Let's go along with that reality. Let's assume that it might be true. Let's pretend that it could exist. Would this encourage humanity to better itself? No,
it wouldn't.
We'd be lazy, decadent, and dumb.
We would.
Well, evolution doesn't allow that. But can you see that they're going to offer us it in the future? They are going to offer us the ability to sit home and entertain ourselves without really doing anything.
Yeah.
And I say it in the future as if it's a long way away, when it's already happening. 53% of households in this country receive more in benefits than they pay in taxation.
Yeah.
How much higher do you want that number to be before you realise that we are very, very close now? We're very close to collapse of the society, not of the system, of the society. And the collapse of the society will build into everybody paranoia, mistrust, the corruption will increase enormously, and obviously crime will as well. Petty thefts, increased aggression, right? This is what's happening now. It'll be more of the same, and this is where the fall of society will take place, and it's happening. It's not going to happen in a day or a week or a year. It's here. It's falling. We're losing. Standards are going. People's minds are twisted. They're only interested in survival. We're getting to the point now where if the next door neighbour should have to die of an illness so they can survive, they're now accepting that's just how it's got to be. Yeah. We're already bloody there.
We are.
People think it's going to be obvious to see. Well, they haven't got the bloody glasses on, otherwise they'd be able to see it. Right? They're using the other glasses, which the alcohol comes in.
Yes.
Right? That's the glasses that's giving you a false picture, because the drugs fool you. That's why they're called glasses. And that's why Bacardi rum and vodka and gin are called spirits. Because when you drink them, you feel you're going to be more than you were.
Yeah.
You're full of bravado. You talk a lot. You feel confident. Simply because you're bloody pissed.
Yeah.
Because the spirits have counterfeit that feeling that you can make for yourself by discovering the truth. The gift is the bloody present. We've done this before, isn't it?
We have, yeah.
The gift is the bloody present, and the present is now.
It is.
And once you stop dancing, the parcel stops with you. The book stops with you. So start bloody reading.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
It's been an interesting January the 8th,
it has, yeah, and the past is important, but you can't dwell in the past. We've got to live in the present and think about tomorrow.
Well, I think what we've got to think about is this is a guy I admire enormously. What do I know about him? I know that when he speaks like this, I feel exactly the same. So why do we do it, Brian?
Okay, well, thanks for that. It's a pretty easy question to answer, really. If I go back, I did 21 years in the military. I now know that some of the things I believed in then, I was misguided, but I originally joined the military because I believed that I had a country and it was worth fighting for, and I did believe at the time that I was helping to defend my country. And then when I left the service and I started to discover what was really going on, the fraud and the corruption in Plymouth, and I tried to do something about it, and the next thing I got people threatening me and sending me death threats and all sorts of crap, I sat down with a couple of guys and we actually had a discussion about it, and we said, what are we going to do? Are we going to do something, or are we going to do nothing? And I can tell you that there was 8 guys around the table, and we said we're going to do something. And from that day onwards I started to do something. I didn't really expect it to go in quite the direction it has, but I will tell you that everything that I have learned tells me if we don't fight, not only will there be nothing left in this country, but if you've got children and grandchildren, they are going to be wiped off the face of the earth. The people we're up against are of exactly the same mentality that got going in Stalinist Russia and in Nazi Germany, and they are going to murder our children, certainly if they achieve the regime they want. And you've got the choice. You can do nothing. You might survive depending on your age, but they're going to have your children. And I decided, and I stick to my guns, I am going to fight, because otherwise my children have absolutely no future. And this is something else which, you know, in the beginning I did a couple of talks, and somebody in the audience sort of said to me, you know, what do these people want? And I said, what they want is to kill you. And you could hear a few people in the audience sucking their teeth. And somebody said to me afterwards, oh, I think you were a bit over the top there, you know, Brian, I don't think you should have really said that. To which I said, well, what were the people saying as they were being led off to the concentration camps? These people are taking people to war, they're engineering wars. We've got British politicians, Miliband, involved in the taking and torturing of people. If we do nothing, we might survive by living in a hole in the ground. Our children, they are going to dispatch them. And that's why I'm fighting. When you get in that sort of mentality and you see this thing for what it is, you know, do I fear for my safety? No, I don't, because I've just decided that basically, you know, not fighting is not an option. Do I try and fight clever? Absolutely, because you can go and do things which are bloody stupid, and you're going to find that you're going to be cornered. But, you know, people who are still sending round email circuits as though they can sit in their armchair and have a little whinge, the people in government are working at the moment on how to murder us. When you know, I'm sorry, this sounds a little bit big-headed, but when you know what I know about what they're really doing to the children, you know, you just say we've got to do something to stop this. I've had relations dying in very mysterious circumstances in hospitals where the hospital staff have then lied and covered up. And I've had tens of people calling me from other parts of the country telling me the same story. We're getting 5, 6, 7, 8 calls a week from mums off their heads because their children have been taken, and those children are being abused or psychologically tortured. It's an absolute cesspit, and we have got to do something about it. But it's no good people running around with bloody baseball bats. We've got to really start going for the few people in the positions of power who are dealing with this. But no, I absolutely don't wake up wondering why I do it. I know why I'm doing it. The times I get frustrated is when I think to myself, we haven't got all the assets or all the people to do what we need to do. If all of the activists out there, whatever parties they've been involved or organisations, if everybody would do something effective, we would be really starting to get to grips with this thing. And there is no other option. That's all I can say, really.
There is no other option, I guarantee you. There is nothing else. We have to understand what's been done to us, and we're learning that now, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're learning that we don't know what we need to know. And we've got to unlearn the stuff that they told us, because it's making us go round and round in circles. Now, that was Mr. Brian Gerrish. And if you're listening to what we're saying here and now, and you think Brian Gerrish is COINTELPRO, you think his UK column, the broadcast, you think it's all been funded by somebody behind the scenes to fool you, to mislead us, if you can't prove it, shut it. Shut it. Leave it alone. You're making things worse. When you want to talk to me like that, please go right ahead and do it so I can't hear you. Because I'm not interested in what Brian Gerrish is doing. It doesn't matter what Brian Gerrish is doing.
Yeah.
What he's doing is something.
Something.
So what are you doing?
Yes.
What are you doing, you little whinging nobody? What are you doing, you sofa terrorist? Yet mummy's little soldier. What are you doing? What are you doing? Because if you ain't doing anything, you're making it bloody worse. And I can't tolerate it anymore. I will not tolerate these little yapping dogs, all right, who try and slow me down. They can leave me alone. I don't need them. If you want to chat to me, and we can help each other, and we can come up with a way that is a successful way of cooperating and communicating with others, I'm all for it. I'm all bloody ears. But if you want to tell me about what you've just read on a message board from someone you don't know, you've never met, and you're not going to bloody ever shake hands with,
No.
You see, you're not using your sense, are you? Because you've got 5 bloody senses. And if you ain't using them 5 senses, and the 6th one being common, you're going to get bloody stitched time after bloody time. And there's nothing, and I mean nothing, that you're going to understand, because you think you already bloody know anything. Get a backbone.
Companies now has got these call centres, but the idiot on the other end of the line's got a script to go by, and he can't come off the script. Fuck no. You ring them up and you go, I'd like to open an account on the internet. And they go, oh, can I have your account number, please? Well, no, I ain't got one yet because I'm not on the internet, am I? Oh, yeah, gotcha. Can I have your account number, please? And they have a script to go by, but they wouldn't like it if we had a script and we stuck to our script. They wouldn't like that very much. You know, you get BT call you up to remind you to pay your bill, and they go, can I speak to the account holder, please? And we go, I am MrPaulVickers. No, the account holder, please. No, I am MrPaulVickers.
That was Mr. Lee Evans. I absolutely love Lee Evans, and I played that because it's about time we stood up straight. You get your bloody back straight.
Yeah.
Because this is a race. I ain't living on my bloody knees for nobody.
No.
My back is going to be straight, and if I'm going to take a hit, I'm going to take it bloody head on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I found myself in the 80s out of work by no fault of my own. A company that we supplied went bust.
Yeah.
And they weren't my accounts. They were the boss's account. They were his little baby account. And they took us for a lot of money. And it was at the time Leyland went down, and this company did a lot of work for Leyland.
Right.
And cut a long story short, I found myself out of work. I went into the job centre, which is one of these places here that's going to be sold off. If you work in a job centre and you're making people fill all these forms, your job is under threat. But anyway, I went in there and I filled in all the forms, blah blah blah, and I did the thing, put my hand out and said, right, I'm out of work. How much can I claim? And they turned around to me and they said, nothing. And I said, you what? I said, no, you can't. No, you do. I says, but I've paid my national insurance, I've paid my tax. And the lady behind the counter very sternly said, just because you've paid national insurance and tax does not entitle you to an employment benefit. I said, what does it entitle me to? And she said, nothing. And you know, I tore a strip off that lady. I said, well, if this place that I've paid into does not provide me with, is not entitled to provide me with anything, I will not darken a job centre door again. And I came out of there like that. I am Spartacus.
Good
and
lad.
I came out of there and I said, I'm
Good
not going to
lad.
darken your door. And that was the day I went self-employed.
Good lad.
I thought, right.
But this is it, isn't it? You've got to wake up to yourself, because you're your own worst enemy.
Yes.
Our ignorance is our enemy.
It is.
Our
and
arrogance is our enemy.
I was so arrogant.
Yeah.
Arrogant
It is,
and
yeah.
ignorance are very closely linked.
But that's our enemy. It's the enemy within.
Yeah.
You see, we want life to be easy because we
do.
live in the weak age.
Yeah.
We live in the time of weakness.
This is why I get...
Languor is weak.
Yeah.
That's what it means. We live in the weak age. Think about the intelligence that made us say that word. Think about the intelligence that exists, and think about the progressive ramming that you've been subjected to by the sky and the sun. Think about it. By the set. By the visions of set. And think about how many ways we use the word set. The nighttime god of the sky.
Yeah.
On your marks.
Get set.
Exactly. Get him. Your television set. Okay, we live underground in sets. We play games in sets. You see, this is a fairy tale woven into a magical lie.
It is a magical lie.
It's a magical lie. It's a kind of bloody magic. And we will refuse to learn it. And because we refuse to learn it, we'll never ever figure out the magician's tricks. Why is breakfast called breakfast? Most people don't know. Well, think about it, and I'll tell you next week. Because that's how words are made. Words are put together. It couldn't be simpler. This is what is so frustrating. And I don't know how to get people to pay attention.
No, I've had the same. People just say, "Oh, it's just words. You're just making it what rhymes with whatever."
No,
But I know we did chief and thief the other week as well. But
they put they group the
words together.
They group them together because this is how the programming is done, and we go round and round in circles. With the spin doctors playing with us. The spin doctors have one tool to use, and it's words. WHIRREDS. Words. And that's what they spin us with. And when we speak, we spin ourselves. Because we say, we were doing this. WHIR.
Yeah.
It's WERE,
E.
which is short for we are. No, it isn't. But if you think it is,
Fine.
that's fine. It isn't. Because you live on a bloody world. WHIRLED. It's as easy as that. And the race that everyone talks about, is all connected to the race of creation. And in this reality, the race of creation is the sperm race.
Yeah.
It's the race that created you. That's where all the stories come from. That's your Jack and Jill and Humpty Dumpty. No, it isn't. I've heard some people say differently. They're right as well. The idea is this is the land of confusion. And I'm only decoding Oceania for you.
Mm-hmm.
There is the cowards and bullies. There's the sheep and the rams. There's the spider and the web. All those realities exist at one time. Your cowards and bullies is cowards and bullies, cows and bulls. Your lamb and your sheep and your kids, and that's your family. Your fish and your ships is your business. And the parasite system is the spider and the web. It's the same four realities working for you in what you're busy with today. And you move around them all.
Mm-hmm.
That's why all the fairy tales and all the stories you can link to these realities. Because that's how they were told. And people say, I can't get that. You're not meant to. You're never meant to understand that's how it's done. It's called programming. And they knew how to do it hundreds of years ago.
On the channel, you're in the right programme.
That's right. You can pick whichever channel you want now. Because it's all programming.
Mm.
Because they have finally come... Well, they know that they've managed to achieve what they wanted to achieve. Which is really simple. Everything we know is either worthless or counterfeit. Everything.
Yeah.
Most of the things we can learn are no use to us.
Mm-hmm.
The internet is the perfect leveller.
Yeah.
It's levelled the entire playing field. Anybody who could do anything now has to do business on the internet. Well, it's still most money wins. But we don't control the internet.
No.
We don't control it, so they can make the rules up and enforce them subjectively. You see, subjects is simple. We're the bloody subjects. And the Queen reigns over us.
She does reign over the subject.
She reigns over us. And she can reign on whoever she wants to make them winners or losers. That's how she picks winners and losers. The rain is water. And water in this reality is money.
Yeah.
So we need water to grow. But we need money to grow. It's the same thing.
Same thing,
That's
yeah.
why money has got a watermark in it.
Yeah.
That's how we grow. We grow because we have access to money. So she reigns over whoever she wants to grow and denies the ability to grow to the rest. She puts them on subsistence and allows them to survive. Keep us weak. Keep us sick. House us in wards. And put us in a dress. That's how this is done. What I'm sharing with you guys is the programming. It's so simple.
Mm-hmm.
And we do live in a dress. And you've got clothes that you do for your private shows. And then you get dressed to go outside onto the big stage.
Yeah.
And do your show there. It's all shows. It's all duality.
And it's good fun decoding it all.
It has been fun.
It is. I enjoy it.
We've had a fantastic journey, haven't we?
Well,
we've loved every minute of it. We've got angry, and we've got upset, and we've got confused.
We have.
And we thought that's a good way to go, and we've trotted down that alley.
Yeah.
And then we turned around and come back. Because we said that's not for me.
No.
This is no good for me. And then we tried down there, and that was no good for us.
And then we got depressed and thought, plan. And we've even thought about whether we should carry on doing this, haven't we?
How many times do we actually say it's not going to make any difference?
It's not going to make any difference, no. But we
like it.
But I enjoy it.
But we like it.
I enjoy this Tuesday night that we come round.
With the internet being the great leveller, what I mean by is there are hundreds, in fact, I tend to thousands of people out there now. Many of them doing radio shows just like this one.
Yeah.
And all credit to them, and all power to them, and I'm doing it too, and you're doing it too.
Uh-huh.
And what's happening is that there's no money in this.
No.
Right? There is no financial reward, and there is very little recognition. Not that we want either. We don't expect either. We don't do it for that. We do it for a little bit of fun. And if somebody enjoys what we're doing, then thanks for enjoying it.
Yeah.
That's all well and good. We've enjoyed it. But there's so many people now doing the same thing that there's not enough listeners. It's like going to an ice cream parlour with 1,000 different flavours. It's all ice cream. But you're only going to like and get time to try a few flavours. So someone says, well, this flavour over here is much better than that one. Well, you get dragged over there to try that one.
Yeah.
And all the radio stations are trying their best to put forward their messages. But they're using different flavours to do it. And when you come into that radio station and you listen to what's been broadcast, you either like it or you don't. Then if you like it, you come back tomorrow, but they're broadcasting a different flavour.
Yeah.
So you think, oh, I liked yesterday's show, but I'm not enjoying this now. So it doesn't build up any loyalty. There's no return for the radio station listeners. They're following the host as opposed to coming back to the station. You see what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
And the stations have got very little opportunity to build loyalty into the station. And because they can't build loyalty into the station and return customers on a big enough basis, they can't monetize it and challenge anything. They can't build a platform to challenge the counterfeit media that we have now. I think I possibly made quite a mess of explaining that, but I knew what I meant. I did try and get it out. It is the end of our show, my friend. And because we're working on YouTube, we are going to say goodnight here. For those listening on Blog Talk, I've got a song to come, but this last song will be for only the people listening on Blog Talk.
Yeah.
And we're going to say goodnight to everybody on YouTube. Right. And very much thanks for your time, really.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Thank you for your time, because you've given it for free, and we appreciate it.
We do.
We'll be back next week. All the links will be below. Your Facebook, my Facebook, couple of connections that we talked about during the show.
Yep.
A link to next week's Blog Talk radio show live. All that stuff will be there. Have a good week. Till next week. We are broken, and we're also very confused.